out for a quick second and stop the live stream, which is a bummer, but we're back at it again. So we'll pick back up. If you're watching this one separate and you didn't see the first part, feel free to go back. I think we'll keep that video up for a bit so you can watch both parts separately, but let's go back at it. Joy's the one sharing our screen. Derek, I remember what we were talking about when we lost our live stream. So we were talking about squad goals, which for us is these internal cultural markers. They define who we are as a company, how we act as employees, and how we serve our churches. So Derek on the other video was telling us about our squad goal called efficiently creative, or creatively efficient. Sorry, I got those words mixed up. The base premise behind that cultural marker for us as a company is that we want to find ways to be as efficient as possible on everything but creativity, like I was saying earlier. We want to be efficient in how are we making the deliverable sizes, because that's not necessarily creative. There's some creative elements on how do I change a 16:9 graphic to make sense on a stories graphic for Instagram. But for the most part, we don't want to waste mind space on stuff that should be efficient. So we're always looking for ways to improve our efficiency at Church Media Squad. How do we serve clients better? How do we save them time and save ourselves time? We have a couple other squad goals, but my favorite by far is our number one squad goal internally is simply called Love the Little C. Our goal in everything that we do is to love on small C churches, not also serving church, the big C church everywhere, but particularly our focus is on doing stuff like this for small C churches that either don't have designers on staff or maybe have designers on staff, they're overworked and they need a relief. Our goal is to just serve the little C churches everywhere in what we do. So that's our top level squad goal. We have lots of other ones. There's 7 total that we go through. We don't need to go through all of them right now, but those are big things that we really care about and talk about on a regular basis at the squad. All right, Joy, I love this. You're loving that smiley face on all of you.
I just want to carry it across, you know?
Yeah. So I have an idea for you, Joy. Your squiggle lines on the backpack on version 3 up there. What if that matched your highlight color? What does that look like?
The yellow?
Yeah, the yellow.
We can find out.
Or is it just not noticeable enough? Oh, where did it go?
I just put the color overlay on there.
Oh well, it doesn't work. It doesn't want you to do it apparently. So
that was a cool idea.
I'm not sure why that's doing that.
Oh well, we don't have to figure it out right now. I feel bad that it's not working, but
that's weird.
Joys of Photoshop.
Yep. Photoshop is a great tool until it isn't. So
I think I would probably leave it white because I want the emphasis to be on like the day they go back to school or like the smiley face. If it's all yellow, I mean, it could totally be a cool effect too. I would probably make that part white and this part white so that there's not too much going on.
Yeah, gotcha. Cool. Yeah, I like the to hear the reasons behind stuff too while we're talking through this. So, all right, you're going version 4 now. I have a question for you guys. When you're working on, I'll say sermon series graphics, particularly, when you're working on sermon series graphics, how many concepts do you tend to send a client on the first go?
I'd say only 1 or 2.
Okay.
Which I feel like every designer is different. Some people will send a lot of concepts, some people won't. I'd say like my thought process behind that is usually I make more versions myself.
Yeah.
I try out a lot of different options, but then I kind of narrow it down like, hey, these are the 2 I think are best. Sometimes people get a little overwhelmed or they're like, hey, I want like 4 of these built out. And you're like, wait, what? So, like, it just helps them too, like, figure out like what is going to be a good option there. Just kind of like going through that process. So usually I narrow it down to 2 before I send it over.
Gotcha.
I definitely work through a lot of different options first. Them too, like.
Cool. Yeah, that's definitely one of those when it comes to concepts, we have to be mindful of from a designer standpoint. We don't want to throw, like Joyce said, too many options at people. Not because we don't trust them to look at the options, but people can have that option overload mentality of, oh, there's so many good options now, I don't know what to do, or I might like lots of options from different concepts, which is helpful for people that have a design background, which are some of the clients that we work with. But when you don't have that design background, sometimes we have to lean on our designers and trust our designers that, hey, you guys, like I said, they're making graphics, a couple hundred graphics a month. Typically, they're definitely the experts in their field when it comes to design. There's a balance of, when do you trust your designer? When do you give feedback to your designer? Feedback's always welcome from our clients. We love it. There's plenty of times when feedback from a client will make my designs better. There's also plenty of times when feedback doesn't make it better. But when we give one or two concepts, our goal with that is to kind of limit those options so that the client has a better understanding of what they really do like and really don't like. And if they don't like both of the concepts that we send to them, that's 100% okay in our minds. We're happy to come up with new concepts again. We have unlimited revisions, unlimited concepts at Church Media Squad for all of our clients, because we don't want you to get pigeonholed into just our vision if it's not the right vision for you. So, cool. All right, let's bounce back on over to Derek here. And Derek, why don't you show us where you're at on your second graphic here?
Cool. So I didn't do much. Well, probably looked like I didn't do much, but I was fiddling around with a lot of things. I think I'm going to add some noise to this.
Which layer are you on? Oh, Night of Worship.
Yep. So just added some texture to the hands, and I added this paper texture in the background just to kind of, that way it's not as flat.
Yeah.
Kind of brings in some more of that natural element. I'm not sure. What do you guys think about this circle in the back? I kind of liked it. It gives it, more dimension, but also, kind of.
I would shift it to the left a little bit, just because your weight is all right there in the center of the screen. Maybe give it.
Yeah, that's where I had it at first. I might like that, but I kind of thought, I don't know, it reminds me a little bit of a moon, so again signifying night a little bit, but I don't know. A lot of times, it's just messing around and seeing what you do or don't like, and
absolutely
seeing if less is more. I added these little. I lost the vowels, but I only lost them here. So, and I just did a little bit of stroke on that, and trying to keep it simple. Less is more is hard for me sometimes, but sometimes it's necessary.
Yeah, there's one with these kind of designs like the one you're making here. I think that's one of the toughest ones as a designer when you're working with clients, is that this is a simple design and it looks awesome, but what is the client going to think of this simple design? But there's nothing wrong with a simple design. That's simply just a simple image with a little bit of texturing at it and simple wording. The goal behind that is that simplicity is to help us be able to better understand as a viewer what we're looking at here on the screen. I can read it better when it's cleaner and simpler. So it's not bad to have a simple white and black design. Like Joy said earlier, black and white, that's actually kind of the preference for designers generally, because we know too that it's going to be way easier for somebody to actually read and understand what they're looking at when it's a simpler design. When we go crazy out there and it's a beautiful piece of art is different than design. Art is something that we make for fun or to express what we're feeling or thinking. Design, on the other hand, and I'm totally stealing from, what is that show on Netflix? I'm spacing on this Netflix show that's all about design. There's an episode on there. What was that?
Mad Men?
No, it's Abstract. It's the series Abstract on Netflix. I think my favorite episode in that series was a guy, I can't remember his name, the Nike shoe designer. And he defined design simply as solving a problem. So for us as graphic designers at Church Media Squad, our problem that we're solving is how do we communicate, in this example, the night of worship to people so that they know it's happening and they know where and when it's happening. And so ultimately, sometimes the best route for that is to go a simple design rather than a complex design. Because we want people to catch something. Maybe where we're putting the design is full of dark things. And so a darker background image isn't going to work in the space that we're putting this graphic in. So we need to make something light. Or maybe everything around the area is yellow, like the example that we have in base design 1 here. And we need to use a different color to make sure it sticks out to the people that are looking at it. So it's all about solving that problem of how do we communicate what we're trying to communicate. Graphic design is ultimately that, communications in a visual standpoint. Cool. All right. So we're getting close to the end of our hour here. We only have a couple more minutes. And I don't have any other questions that are lingering from people at the moment, it looks like. So let's wrap it up. We saw where Derek's at. Joy, give us one last look of what you're working on, and we'll call this design hour good for today.
All right. So I think you were right about the yellow squiggles. I kind of like it all like that. So there's a version that has like the date placeholder here that's larger with the cleaner font. I kind of like back to school being more emphasized in the date here. That's just like a random day I picked, but I included another handwritten font right there.
Cool.
Put a little detail on the elbow. So yeah, that's where that landed.
Cool.
Can I know it's literally just placeholder text, but I'm reading that that's on September 9th, but then it's actually September 7th.
Mm.
I caught that.
But
boom, September 7/7. Sweet, love it.
But you were doing it because it was month 9, so that could just be a preference thing. But
yeah, no, that's a good call.
Yeah, but we also, like I just said, communication or design is communication, so we need to make sure we're clear on what we're doing. Yeah, cool. All right. Well, sweet. I loved how this first design hour turned out for the church comms group this month. Guys that are watching, those that are watching after the fact, we're going to be putting all of these designs up on the Church Media Squad website, free for download, no email required or anything, so that you can grab everything you watched us design today for free. Look at the Photoshop files yourself, change out the text, whatever you need to change it out to, and use it as you please. So, well, I wanted to, Joy, you can stop sharing your screen. Wanted to say a special thank you to Joy and to Derek for joining me today for this live design hour. Again, our goal is to do this once a week for the rest of this month for the Church Comms group. Thank you to Katie and Kenny for letting us do that. Thank you guys for joining me today. We'll see you next Thursday around the same time for another design hour. Thanks, guys.
bye.